and Press and Media Department of the Ministry of Defense, Colonel Oksana Havryliuk. Good morning. The Ministry of Defense of Ukraine continues to introduce reforms aimed at the optimization of the ministry's works to ensure implementation of the military reform to strengthen the structure of the General Staff and the Ministry of Defense. The program has been adopted to bring them to the NATO standards. The roadmap has been developed for the reform up to 2018 for the ministry and for 2020 for the General Staff. Thus, the ministry's reform provides for strengthening democratic civil supervision over the ministry's work, introduction of the ministry's state secretary position, selection of the new candidates for the leading positions, reforming of 11 structural reforms, etc. The group of trainees from the Marine Forces University, Odessa Marine Academy, were invited by the French Republic to have an internship on the ships, military ships of French Republic. They will have training at E.V. Jacobi and Lear ships. Ukrainian servicemen in the ATO area continue to demine the territory from mines left by the occupants. Thus, during the last week, they neutralized 700 objects of explosive ordnance. In general, they have neutralized 30,800 explosive ordinances in the area. The state enterprise has continued to supply a new and modernized equipment to the armed forces of Ukraine, and in line with the contracts, 54 contracts concluded in 2016, some 2 billion of hryvnia are allocated for these purposes. Also, the state tests of automated station of optical and electronic interferences had been carried out, and 5 sets of drones, Furia, and 24 heavy trucks of cross and mass types, and some other machinery equipment had been supplied to the armed forces. Also, the repair units of the armed forces during the last week had carried out 232 repairs of tanks, howitzers, anti-tank guns, armed vehicles, etc., and 179 vehicles. Thus, from the beginning of ATO operation in general, the repair brigades had repaired 44,737 military machinery units of military machinery and equipment. Efficient carrying out of the defense orders at the domestic enterprises is ensured by special representatives from the Ministry of Defense, and thus the defense production in the state enterprises this year amounts to 630 million hryvnia, and for other law enforcement agencies for 540 million hryvnia. Besides that, during the last week, the Ministry of Defense reviewed and awarded the status of the ATO participants to more than 3.5 thousand of servicemen who participated in the war operations in the East. As of today, the general amount of people who were awarded this status amounts to 126,774 people. Also, the payment of special fees and bonuses to the ATO participants is being continued. More than 27,000 of the defenders had received 122 million hryvnia. Thus, almost 780,000 hryvnia were paid for eliminated machinery, and for 4 million more than 4 million were paid for carrying out military tasks. From the beginning of this year, the general number of those volunteers willing to be enlisted to the military service under conditions of the contract amounted to 12,000 people, and some 9,300 had already signed the contracts. And by the way, all the candidates undergo training in the training centers of the Ministry of Defense. And if they do not require any training, they are immediately enlisted to the military units. Thank you for your attention. And our next press event will be at 10 o'clock sharp. Thank you for your attention.